Why don't we calm down?
Reaching for the radio, got stuck on your mental. Protection by the bedroom, a target in the guest room. Press news, let loose in dreamland. When you awake, you'll be slave to your next.
Crap. What's been going on?
What did I miss? What did I miss?
Oh, right, that thing. So, welcome everyone back to the remaining half of the top 10 Hamilton list. You guys don't remember? There should be like a card annotation up on the screen showing that there's a part 1. But, enough chit-chat. Let's move on to the number 5.
How do you ride like you're running out of time? Right day and night like you're running out of time. Every day you fight like you're running out of time. Like you're running out of time. Are you running out of time? How do you ride like tomorrow won't arrive? How do you ride like you needed to survive? How do you ride every second you're alive? Every second you're alive. Every second you're alive.
Coming in at number 5, we have the one song that I kind of find a little bit confusing at times, but can't help but feel very hyped, of NonStop. Now, for a song for the second half of the musical where it's just all about how the government's formatted from all the founding fathers, how they initially have the premise after being given their freedom from the British Crown, it's sort of like a good historical note about what happened between not only Alexander Hamilton, but his lifelong frenemy, I guess it's frenemy, of Aaron Burr. And just the whole energy of the song is like note after note after note, pacing after pacing after pacing. It's just very, very beautiful, poignant, and just so amazingly immaculate that you just cannot help but feel infectious to just do anything to be on your grind at any time of the day. But also touching on factors about how many people around Alexander Hamilton felt about his choices that not a lot of historians wanted to touch on because they didn't want to ask questions about all the other people in the history of Sir Hamilton. However, why am I only putting this at number 5 though? There are just a few things involving NonStop that kind of keep it from being number 1, which are first the fact that it's sort of lacking in impactful, striking power of memorability like a lot of other songs that were on the musical's own standpoint. But at the same time, the enjoyment factor that you're trying to get from it are topped by the other 4 on this list. And the second reason is because I've kind of heard this from other rap songs like Lose Yourself on 8 Mile or Untouchable by Pusha T. But at the same time, even though it just has those falters around it, this song just makes you want to go non-stop.
Listen, Aaron Burr, sir.
Alexander.
You've created quite a stir, sir.
I'm going door to door.
You're openly campaigning.
Sure.
That's new.
Honestly, it's kind of draining.
Burr.
Sir.
Is there anything you wouldn't do?
No, I'm chasing what I want. And you know what?
What?
I learned that from you.
Next up at number 4, we have The Election of 1800, the most parodied song in all of Hamilton. Like, even for that one blackout period between 2017 and 2015, what was that blackout period that happened? I'm pretty sure we had an election period in that blackout period. But we had non-stop parodies using this song out of any other song in the musical except for one. But what is the election of 1800? Well, it's to settle who's going to be the 3rd president of the United States of America. And all I can say is, I wish I was there just to see how hyped up with energy those people were to vote for who's going to be the next president. If they matched up with the musical, I'd be like, yo, I want to vote today. Oh wait, I'm brown. They're gonna kill me and put me into slavery. Oh shit! Ah! But you know, just trying to slide on in with the finesse though. Also, with the whole back and forth thing between Jefferson and Burr ignoring Adams, just like, he was a thing for the second president, so it's just like, we're going to shove him away, just focus on these two candidates, which were really good candidates to go toe-to-toe with, but the whole deciding factor being Alexander Hamilton for the Federalist Party, which was the big predecessor for one of the biggest political parties for the American government. Oh, America, you and your history for these sort of governments. Still, though, the whole energy factor, along with the reuse from another popular song from Hamilton of Washington on Your Side, along with using refrains from Aaron Burr Sr., at least I think it was Sr., just to bring everything home to make sure you had a more impactful moment, just like, mwah, it was beautiful. But why is it only at number 4? Well, although I enjoy it, the parody amount of it kind of makes its whole impactfulness like very moot for me. Every single parody I see from it, just like, it was so huge, but now it's just so overplayed. Which is very detrimental for a lot of songs if it's not done properly. We'll get into more of that later. But at the same time, though, when you're just kind of thinking about what election was the most lit by historians now, that election was of 1800.
Lecture me about the war, you didn't fight in it. You think I'm frightened of you, man? We almost died in the trench. Well, you were off getting high with the French. Thomas Jefferson always hesitant with the president. Medicine, there isn't a plan he doesn't jettison. Madison, you mad as a hatter, so take your medicine. Damn, you in worse shape than the national debt is in. Sitting there useless as two shits. Hey, turn around, bend over, I'll show you where my shoe fits.
Coming in at Numero 3, we have Cabinet Battle number 1. Basically, why am I putting this in number 3 in the first place? It's basically battle raps between Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton. And if you guys know me from all the stuff that I play in the background when me or Nick used to edit for me, or Max if I actually want him to edit, I love battle raps. Like, I binge watch Team Backpack's whole ciphers or bar fight to just see which underground rappers against which underground rapper, and I live for that kind of music. Not to say I'm gonna go back to the rap game, no, that ship has sailed. But when it comes to just watching two historical figures go at it in a way that I wish Epic Rap Battles of History would do, I'm sorry, Nice Peter and Epic Lloyd, but I think the people from Hamilton beat you out by a mile with just 2 cabinet battles than you guys with all these seasons. Sorry, not sorry, but whatever. But the energy from the first battle was just so intense by every single measure that you kind of just feel like you want to root for either side, and also just do whatever you can to do lip syncs with it, to do parody songs with it of just your own interpretations about who would be in a cabinet battle together, but using those real life notes about each other. It just makes you want to do more battle rap stuff that kind of challenges the standards about what can hip hop do. But why is it only a number 3? But there's a small reason that numbers 1 and 2 kind of have more of a sensational sort of taste to it than just over-the-top hype. Over-the-top hype can go a long way, but there's something about that whole intense taste in your mouth when you're just hearing all this music in your ear that's just kind of satisfying all of your senses, that kind of overlap into a lot more of beauty for things. But if that's gonna be the way it is, at least for number 3 we have a cabinet battle.
Dear Alexander, I am slow to anger, but I toe the line as I reckon with the effects of your life on mine. I look back on where I failed, and in every place I checked, the only common thread has been your disrespect. Now you call.
At number 2, we have one of my other most favorite songs from the entire musical of Your Obedient Servant, With this song in its own energy, it's kind of like the culminating falling action to where the resolutions can start falling into place. With all the things that were going to happen in the next few songs that kind of go into the resolution, your obedient servant kind of cements what makes this whole musical the way it is. It kind of makes you go through this entire journey between these two men of the opposite sides of things. One of an emotional man that wants to reshape the world with a dream, aka Alexander Hamilton, and another man that tries to keep everything hidden, everything under wraps, and everything close to himself without giving too much away to make sure that his side is known, of Aaron Burr. With these two men finally coming together head first, exchanging words for the final time before the entire action ends up in the most dramatic fashion known to man, the beauty of it all just speaks for itself when just hearing this exchange between the two. And I live for this kind of songs. I live for these moments. And honestly, I've been trying to memorize and perform this song myself for an acapella I'm working on. Not gonna say when, but I am working on it. And just the energy I keep feeling where I'm always nervous about how I'm gonna perform the song speaks more volumes for my own kind of nervousness about trying to do better than all of the cast members. But if I'm this passionate about this one song, this one key moment in the musical, why isn't this number one? Basically, it's because unlike every other song in this entire thing, number one touches on so many different points for everyone that's ever felt a certain way, that at the end of it all, when you're just hearing all of the notes, all of the memorable lyrics and hooks from it all, you kind of just forget about any other song in the musical, past or present, and you just focus on number one. Although I love number two to its whole entire glory, I cannot be your obedient servant to make it number one.
And your words obsessed with your legacy. Your sentences border on senseless, and you are paranoid in every paragraph. How they deceive you.
And finally, at the number one spot, we have the most beloved but also the most tragic song by most accounts, excluding the death of Philip, where it is the song Burn. Now, for many people, Burn is basically the turning point into a very important part of the story. The marriage between Alexander Hamilton and Eliza Schuyler. Throughout the entire musical, we've had notes of first the Reynolds pamphlet of Alexander Hamilton sleeping with Mariah Hamilton because her husband was also trying to blackmail him by saying, I'm not going to be a cuckold, so you got to pay me for just sleeping with my whore wife that I beat and abuse, who just runs to you because I told her to, which is extortion. But also kind of doing the red herrings about, was Alexander Hamilton cheating on his wife with his sister-in-law, Angelica Schuyler, or were they just good friends that were kind of really tight-knit? You never really understood which way it was, because history has a way of playing its own unique flavor on that. But in the culmination period between where Alexander and Eliza finally have a talk after she sees all the things in the papers, that is when everything turns to the worst. With every single lyric, every single word, every single amount of energy, you just honestly feel her anger, her betrayal, her sadness. And even if you've never been in a relationship before, you feel like you relate to this agony, this pain. Because we've all felt betrayed by a close friend if we haven't been betrayed by a lover, a husband, a wife, someone that we thought that we would date. anyone that we've ever had an emotion about that was either romantic or friendly, we felt this way. We felt this agony, this pain, where we just felt like setting ablaze all of the so-called happy memories that we received from that person to just wallow in anger and feel nothing but the sting of betrayal. To, at the very culmination period of it, you never hear a single word coming from Alexander because he knows the whole taste of it being a defeat. He's realizing all of his actions just falling down onto him. Am I gonna say that Alexander Hamilton in real life was a saint? No, because history doesn't breed saints. It breeds just people to make a legacy, to make a legend for all people to aspire to. But this song kind of culminates into why you should always look into the other figures. Because not only does this prove that there were other impactful moments besides just all the founding fathers, but the wives and all the family members have powerful moments where even if you don't feel like it's important to history, it is worthy of noting because of how raw the emotions feel at the end game, where only you yourself know how this truly ends. Along with that, I've noticed so many people trying to cover this song to a T, where I cannot tell you how many times I've almost cried hearing certain people recreating this one song. It's the most beautiful moment I've ever seen from a musical, the most beautiful song I've ever heard involving the sting of betrayal, and from it, it's why I named this the #1 song, my own opinion of the #1 song from Hamilton. Whatever. Did you guys agree with the list? I hope you guys come up with your own things in the comments below about all the top 10 or top 15 songs from the musical yourself. Or just give me your own opinions on how I rated the whole thing on the list. I don't really mind getting into a discussion with you guys, but if you're trying to hate, I'm gonna make sure you burn. So anyway, guys, I'll see all of you beautiful nomads later, so be sure to be cool, stay stylish, and I'll see you next time, nomad party people out there. Remember to keep on grooving that exact beat of yours. And if you are a stranger out there, and you wanna be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens, the room where it happens, make sure you hit that subscribe button and become a nomad today. We like to have fun, we like to have a good time. Most importantly, we like to have a loving, very encouraging community. No drama, no hatred, no bigotry, none of that. Just a whole field of understanding. For we need to be satisfied, for I'll always be by your side. Okay, enough singing. I know you guys are going deaf from all that tone deafness. So I'll see you guys in the next video. So I'll see you guys later.